Age is nothing but a number. Heard that before? That's what it means to some of the greatest rock voices of all time. When not on the golf course, there's a good chance Cooper is touring. The godfather of shock rock turned 76 in February 2024, and was touring Europe by autumn. And when he checking out one of Alice's entertaining live performances, it's hard to tell if the years and vocal mileage have done anything to hinder his voice and ability to perform. The best of Netflix's original films. Daltrey turned 80 in March 2024, and while there are some critics and fans who believe he should hang up the mic, the legendary frontman of The Who continues to prove he can still pack a vocal punch. Sure, he takes a different vocal approach to such classics like Won't Get Fooled Again, and the range is not what it was in the past. But, as 2024 went on, Daltrey was still delivering 2-hour, sometimes longer, live sets without a problem. The 83-year-old Dylan has never really gone away. And, while his voice was known for being more unique than anything else, he's been able to keep touring and putting out music. After playing with 91-year-old country legend Willie Nelson in the summer of 2024, Dylan, who hasn't really shown his age, is slated to finish up the year with a tour of Europe. When it comes to generational talent, Dylan must be near the top of any such list. The 40 best and biggest country songs from the 2010s. Nearing 80 years old, it seems like Fogerty has never stopped touring. Though best known for leading the way with Creedence Clearwater Revival, Fogerty's solo career has been going strong since the early 1970s. Like others on this list, 2024 proved to be a busy year for Fogerty, who has toured with his Travelin' Band. He put out his most recent studio album, Fogerty's Factory, in 2020 and the single, Weeping in the Promised Land, 1 year later. Frampton turned 74 in April, and celebrated by going out on a 2024 tour of North America. The singer-guitarist has never let age define him, or keep him from playing live. Which after all, is the reason he became a star in the first place through his 1976 Frampton Comes Alive. In addition, Frampton has released 2 studio records since 2021, though the most recent, Frampton Forgets the Words, was an instrumental project. The 20 greatest covers of Rolling Stones songs. In 2023, the 74-year-old Gabriel released I.O., his 10th studio album and first in 21 years. Gabriel toured off the record, to rave reviews, which should not have been a surprise. There are just some artists who can deliver the goods, especially vocally, no matter how much the years add up. The fact is, Gabriel has consistently provided backing vocals and collaborated with countless of artists since his solo heyday of the 1980s and into the 90s. Gillan, who just turned 79, told popular rock radio personality Eddie Trunk that he has no plans to retire, while still touring with Deep Purple, anytime soon. Armed with one of the most iconic voices of all time, the guy played Jesus on the original recording of Jesus Christ Superstar. Gillan has shown wear and tear, but he still keeps going and likely will need to be dragged off the stage when it's time to truly call it a career. It's one thing to want to be out there when one is up there in age, but another to back it up. Gillan has certainly done that. 20 singers who refuse to play some of their biggest hit songs. It's not too surprising that Gilmour continues to put out music and tour at age 78. His vocal stylings, very reserved, calming and harmonically pleasant, never seemed taxing on his voice. Upon his return from playing Europe, the Pink Floyd legend, who also happens to be one of the great guitar players on the planet, Gilmour played 3 nights at the Hollywood Bowl and 5 at Madison Square Garden. So much for taking it easy during your golden years. At 77, rock fans know Hagar still can't drive just 55. But, age also can't keep off the stage. In 2024, Hagar hit the road for a high-octane rock party with buddies Michael Anthony, Joe Satriani, Jason Bonham and Kenny Aronoff on the Best of All Worlds tour. Drawing positive reviews across America and abroad, the Red Rocker remains one of the most entertaining frontmen in rock history. And, Hagar plans to keep going until physically unable to keep pleasing crowds. Which singers have the greatest voices in music history? The Grammy Award-winning metal legend turned 74 in August 2024, and he's still fronting Judas Priest, gray beard, shaved head and all. Not only is the band still touring with Halford at the forefront, but making new music with 2024's Invincible Shield album. Sure, time has taken some of the sheen off Halford's piercing, glass-cutting voice, but it's still beyond dependable and well worth the time and money to hear it live. This list is not limited to men. In fact, when it comes to musical longevity, 79-year-old Debbie Harry has never really gone away. She's seemingly played with everybody, including a 2023 collab with the Dandy Warhols and Nala, from various genres. Not to mention, Blondie put out its most recent studio released in 2017 and played the Isle of Wight Festival in 2023. She's also remained a presence as an actor, on the red carpet and just about anywhere that's cool. 20 film endings that subverted audience expectations. Simply put, Mick Jagger is a freak of nature in the best, most complimentary sense of the word. At 81, he still moves like Jagger at 30 or 40 or 70. Anyone fortunate enough to catch Jagger and the Rolling Stones during the stellar 2024 Hackney Diamonds tour saw firsthand that Jagger can still croon and sway, for more than 2 hours, as if time stood still. Even at his advanced age, Jagger might still be the greatest frontman ever, regardless of genre. And even when he's gone, that likely will still be the case. At 75, Joel looks and sings nearly as good as he did 30 years ago, and he has never stopped playing, as is evidenced by his lengthy residency at Madison Square Garden from 2014 to 24. Since 2023, Joel has been part of the Two Icons, One Night tour with fellow 70-plus legend Stevie Nicks. More on her in a bit. Perhaps most impressive when it comes to Billy Joel is that he's managed to keep playing at a high level despite battling depression early in his career and alcoholism for most of his adult life. 20 TV shows that suddenly changed premises. The current of the version of Electric Light Orchestra, ELO, is Jeff Lynne, the lone original member of the band. However, it's still time well spent to see and hear Lynne, who turns 77 before 2024 comes to an end, as ELO tours this fall playing the hits. Lynne can still do it all. Sure, he might be a little slower, but the music is as solid as ever, and fans continue to come out to hear one of the great, yet underrated, musicians of all time. Sir Paul turned 82 in June 2024, and the music world spent another year in wonderment. The legendary Beatle has always defied his age. He can still play a 3-hour show, traveling the globe and keeping busy. His 19th studio album, McCartney 3, was released in December 2020, and the live-in studio album One Hand Clapping as Paul McCartney and Wings came out in 2024. The voice is still superb, and musically, he commands any instrument at his disposal. McCartney can also be found collaborating or jamming with some of the biggest names in music on a regular basis. 20 actors who were fired, killed off, or quit TV shows they starred in. The 76-year-old Nicks has been touring for parts of 5 decades. And it's quite possible she will add another decade to her resume before she calls it a career. What's more impressive is that Nicks hasn't released a studio album of new material in more than 10 years. However, Nicks has managed to remain highly relevant thanks to her embrace of modern-day female pop and rock stars, thus opening the door for a live tour that began in 2023, as well as her aforementioned team-up with Billy Joel for some concert dates. And the voice? Well, it should take fans back to her magnificent days of 70s, if old enough. At 73, Sting's a relative baby compared with some on this list. And, while it seems unlikely Sting will ever reunite with Stuart Copeland and Andy Summers to bring back the Police anytime soon, he continues to stay busy. In tip-top shape, both in appearance and vocally, Sting has played 2024 stadium shows with the aforementioned Billy Joel, and will close out the year with his 3.0 tour. Which, interestingly enough, is with 2 other musicians playing behind him. The multiple Grammy Award winner has released 2 studio albums since 2019. 20 films where a supporting actor outshined the star. Okay, so Plant can't hit all the high notes or range-defying numbers in the legendary Led Zeppelin catalog, but that has not stopped him from performing. And Plant won't ignore some of the band's songs. He has his reasons for not joining Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones for a Zeppelin reunion, but the 76-year-old Plant continues to play festivals throughout the world and has found a new base and generations of fans through his years performing alongside bluegrass country star Alison Krauss. The boss just turned 75, and for fans who want to see just what it means for him to keep playing, and playing at a high level for 3 hours a night in 2023 and 24, then check out Road Diary, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. With an October 2024 release, the Disney Plus Hulu documentary dives into Springsteen's mindset as he continues to tour until the wheels fall off. Sure, Bruce has dealt with some health issues in the last few years, but when the stage lights go up and house comes down, a Springsteen show remains one of the great rock experiences of all time. 23 famous actors who struggled with stardom after making it big. We already highlighted Waters' former Pink Floyd bandmate David Gilmour. Waters, meanwhile, who just turned 81, has also kept busy on stage, while making waves and stirring controversy off it, since parting ways with the band in the 1980s. Waters' raspy, almost ornery voice can prove burdensome to one's health over the years, but that hasn't stopped him continuing to make new music and tour, the most recent of which wrapped up within the last year. Wilson has endured much during her life: substance abuse, weight and body image issues, and in 2024, she was diagnosed with cancer while Hart was in the midst of touring. However, Wilson underwent treatment for the latter, and it appears the 74-year-old legendary singer will be back on stage with her beloved rock outfit in 2025. Through it all, Wilson's voice remained powerful and magical, and classic rock fans still can't get enough. The 25 most iconic acting families in movie history. Another superstar musician, singer, songwriter who has kept churning and burning. At age 74, Wonder continues to play, sound and move like he's in his 30s. In 2021, he appeared in Questlove's wonderful documentary Summer of Soul. 1 year later, Wonder released his 15th studio album Talking Book. Then in 2024, he released the single, Can We Fix Our Nation's Broken Heart, and performed his classic, Higher Ground, at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Did you enjoy this slideshow?